everybody, and welcome to Drawing with Basic Shapes. My name is Shayna Armand, and today we're going to work on feet. The feetses. Feet 3 ways. So, when you're drawing the feet, we want to go ahead and start with the basic mechanics of the feet, where the joint is whenever you're bending your feet. And so we're going to start with a foot from the side. Let me move things along, make sure you guys get a really good look at it, at what I'm doing here. And I'm going to push this bad boy in. Nope, that's not where I wanted to go. All right, there we go. This should be good. All right. The first thing you want to do is you want to draw a circle. And then however long you want your foot to be, you're going to draw another circle. This is where your heel is, and this is where the ball of your toe is. So a circle, draw a line, and then do another circle. Okay? These are your 2 base points of a foot from the side. Okay, then you're going ahead and going to put a larger circle on top of that heel. And what that larger circle represents is the ankle joint. A lot of people don't think about that. Ankle joint is where your foot will bend and do a point. Like if you see ballerinas point their feet, it's from this joint, and this circle represents that joint. Okay, now we're going to take a little bit of a line past the first set, and because we are going ahead and drawing from the side, we're going to start with the inner arch side of the foot. I said we're going to be doing it 3 ways, and it's going to be 2 drawings of each one. All right, don't see this. This red's supposed to be coming out well enough for you guys to see it well. Hey, David, thanks for joining us. Anyway, if y'all can see that pretty clearly, please let me know. Sometimes my light can be a little too bright. Anyway, so we start out with a circle here, and this smaller circle here. You draw a line between them. Above the larger circle, you're going to put another larger circle off to the side of it, a little bit in front, but not quite, representing the ankle joint. All right, and then you're going to put a little line here, and if you guess that's what represents the toes, you are correct. Now that we have this set up, and we're doing the inside of the foot from the side, you want to go ahead and create a small arc between your 2 circles. Okay? And that is going to represent the arch of the foot. And believe it or not, once you are at this point, you can draw your foot. It doesn't seem like very much or very hard, does it? Okay, but say this is your ankle. You smoothly draw an arc down. This is your ankle. You smoothly draw around your heel. Go up into your arch. Go down around the ball of your foot. And then create a U shape. And look, there's a toe. Okay. It's not quite perfect. Actually, we should probably make this just a little more flat. And there you have it. All right, so we're going to try this one more time, just for repeating's sake, and then we're going to do this, the side foot in the opposite direction. In the meantime, you draw a small circle, Draw a larger circle, not far from it. Draw a line between the two of them. And then you draw another circle about the same size, representing the ankle on top and a little on the side of it. Kind of like this, kind of in a diagonal shape. Okay, and then you draw a little line out to show your toe. Then you create an arch to represent the inside of angle of the foot. All right. Again, you draw it back down. Make a U, go around here, curl in, curl around your heel, come back, boom, there's your foot. All right. Well, maybe that's a little too much, but you get the idea. All right, let's do the other side of the foot, which it isn't really that difficult. You're basically doing the same thing as the in-foot, but you're not putting your arch in there, because the parts that reach, that hit on the fly of the floor is going to be the ball of your foot and your heel. Okay, and the ball is right where the toes are, kind of gives you a little direction. Smaller and then larger for your heel, and then do an angle out and draw another circle here, which represents your ankle joint. Okay, once you're at this point, draw a line between the two, and then draw a tiny. Now this is what, when you're drawing from this angle, you're going to see more than just your big toe. That's the part that is different from the inner arch. You're only going to see like this toe right here, maybe, and maybe a little bit of that toe hanging out. Okay? If you really want to get accurate with it, of course, you need to put your creases where your toe is. All right, so here we're going to do the same thing we did before. Go out, come down. We're going to do a smaller U here. Go around the foot and then not arch. Go around the ankle, and go around the heel, and then come back to the ankle. Okay? I know what you're thinking. That looks really weird, but this is why you put extra representing the toe. And I like to do just a little bit more for Mr. Big Toe. So you're basically doing little U's to show where the big toe is. All right, I realize that these should be a little flatter here. I'm making these a little too further up, like he's curling his toes or something, so I apologize. It should be the toe should be down here and flat. So that's on me. Miss Expert just done messed it all up. Maybe he's tapping his foot. All right, now I'm going to do the second version. Now that we have an idea of the anatomy we use to create the foot, we're going to do a front-facing foot. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, crap. How do you do a front-facing foot? Okay, well, let's just pretend this is our leg. Okay? I'm just going to draw a calf. All right? First thing we're going to do is create an oval, a small oval here. Okay? Above this small oval, we are going to do a very sharp trapezoid. Okay? You see the trapezoid? From here, the top of the trapezoid, you're going to create a circle. And if you haven't guessed by now, that circle signifies the joint of the arch. Okay? And I know what you're thinking. What about the toes? Well, this, if represents the ball of the foot, then your toes are right there in front. And you make, well, depending on what your toes look like, you make decreasing circles in the middle of that oval. Okay? So from that point, if we're going from the ankle, we're going to show where the ankle bone is on each side. Come down, curl under, and then put our toes in there. Now, what I like to do just personally is add a little hump space there. That way you can kind of see where the toes are. Give a little line there. That way you know where it is. All right. Do we want to see that one more time? I think that might work. All right, let's do that one more time. Okay, first things first. Well, I guess I might as well do the other. I've already done the left foot. Well, I guess that's the right foot. Whatever. Depending on your perspective. Okay. All right. A small oval. From that oval, you're going to create a very short trapezoid. On the top of that trapezoid, you are going to do another circle. Okay? And inside that oval, you're going to make little circles of varying size to show the toes. Okay? From the top here, you're going to go around where your ankle is, come underneath, go around where your ankle is again, and then of course show the circles where your toes are. Okay, and of course I like to give my toes a little bit of definition, and maybe like that, and boom, you have your front facing feet. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. What if I want to show someone on their tip toes? Okay, we're gonna do tiptoes. All right. All right, I'm gonna do it from the side, and I'm gonna do it from the front. Let's start with the side. All right, first thing we do is we put our small circle, and then you want to draw a line up and out to wherever you want that toe to, ball to end up. And then you represent another circle that's larger for the heel. Now here's the fun part. Over here, you're seeing how we had that ankle with a line justed out here. We did the joint bone here. You do the same exact spot. Do not adjust that, because that is the hinge on which your foot rests in order to point and to bend. Okay? So you're going to put it in the same spot. Put a little toe there. And of course, this is the inside of the foot we're doing. So you're going to put a little arch underneath to represent your arch. Okay? And you can make it as, high or as low as you need to. But this is how we do it. All right, and then you come down, and then you follow this. Curl it in, go around your heel. As you can see, I'm kind of trying to adjust for my issue today. And then In this case, I'm gonna kind of show. And that is how you push up. The only adjustment you're gonna do when you're doing a tiptoe that is front facing, let me move my camera a little bit, guys. All right. When you're doing a front facing foot, the only adjustment you're gonna do is you're gonna create your oval to represent the toe of the ball. Your trapezoid is gonna be longer, representing, you see how short this little guy is here. You want this to be longer, showing the extension of your foot on its ball of the ball where the toes are. So then you put in your joint and your toes. And as we draw here, you're gonna do here, gonna come down and around, show this, and up we go. Boom. Now your foot is on its tiptoes. Okay, and of course I put my little to show. And that is how you do the front face on the tiptoes. All right. And last but not least, and no one asked me, but I think it's important, is showing your foot from the back. And they're like, why? And I said, because the heel is smaller and is less wide than the front of your foot. Okay, so you actually are going to see some of the front of your foot. And this is where you're kind of going to overlay things on here. So you put in the representative of the ball of your foot, but right over it, you're going to also put in the circle for your heel, and above that, the circle for the joint. And say you're drawing somebody with their back turned. Okay? Showing their ankle, you're coming back around. All right? And I know what you're thinking, but excuse me, you can't differentiate. This is where you're going to go ahead and put a crease here. This represents the front ball of the foot you can't see. This represents the heel. And when you're viewing it from the back, you're also going to see some creases from your Achilles tendon, which is usually here in the foot. Okay. Y'all want to see that again? You want to see the magic? All right. See here. Again, show where your ball of your foot would be. Show a circle where your heel is located at. And then show a circle on top to show the joint of the ankle. Oh, excuse me. I am so sorry. I am taking medicine that is making me burp. That's how you know we're live. It's the living being here doing this. No. And then, of course, you go ahead and you bring in your crease from your heel, showing that your heel is here and that this is just the back of your foot, and little creases here from the ankle. Boom, boom. That's your foot from the back. Okay. See, I'm going to go ahead and show This is from the side. This is flat foot from the outside. This is front facing feet. This is if you have it on tiptoes from the side and the front. And this is showing your foot from the back. I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial, and I hope it at very least gets you going with some of the basics on how to draw feet. I want to thank you for stopping by. My name is Shayna Arman. Thank you, and y'all have a great weekend.